Sawadee Cup, Pompedi, Nadagan, Thai Talk with Paddy. One of the more interesting phenomena that I started to notice when I lived in Thailand 6 years ago was that in the majority of Thai and foreign heterosexual relationships, the woman tended to be Thai and the man tended to be foreign. And to be honest, this trend is much the same here in Australia, where in interracial Caucasian and Asian relationships, the man tends not to be Asian. I just find it interesting that even in 2020, this cultural phenomenon still exists. So today, I'm back with one of my good friends that we haven't seen for a while, Steffi. How have you been? I haven't seen you for so long on the channel.
Yeah, I've been really busy, but it's great to be back.
So good. So today we're going to go and ask particularly Asian males what they think of this particular phenomenon. So are you ready today to go and ask some of the tough questions?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. Bye, Ganley!
So where are you from and what's your cultural background?
So my name is Jason. I'm born in Perth in Australia, but my cultural background is actually Singaporean.
Born in Sydney. My parents are from Shanghai, China. And I'm an ABC, Australian born Chinese.
Born in Sydney, but my background is Indonesian.
Okay, cool.
Who have you dated in the past? Have you dated non-Asians as well?
From my experience, I've only ever dated Asian women.
I had a thing with a South American girl.
Oh, really? Where was she from?
She was from Chile.
Yes, I have actually. I have. So I was born in Australia, and when I was first growing up, being a teenager, being a young adult, I was actually more into non-Asian women, so white women, Greek, Italian, Lebanese, Macedonian.
So do you have many friends who are in an interracial relationship between an Asian and a non-Asian?
A few.
Yeah, I think I have about a handful of friends that I can name off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
How many of those is it the case where the guy is the Asian?
All the times it's actually the woman that's actually the Asian, and actually the guy is actually non-Asian.
No, the girl is Asian, the one I know.
Well, I would say more women who are Asian. They are in more interracial relationships than men.
The Asian is generally female.
Why do you think that is?
That I'm not sure about. Asian men don't seem to be, I guess, high up in the food chain in terms of dating.
I might be crossing some lines by saying this, but I think it's because for many men, they find that Asian women, they find them to be, we live in Australia obviously, so they find Asian women to be more exotic, more attractive, a lot more unique. So because of that, I think that's why women are usually at the receiving end when it comes to interracial relationships.
I think it's like a bit of a mix of different reasons. One can be that they've just grown up in a different country and they just migrated, so when they move to a non-Asian country like Australia, they would find an Australian husband or something like that.
I think it just comes to being a little bit more open, I suppose.
As in the girl is more open, or?
Just more open to like other nationalities, I suppose.
And the second reason, it can also be not just personal, but also like sort of business and like more like economy. Like someone might just want to marry or be in a relationship with a non-Asian person so that they can get citizen status.
But wouldn't an Asian guy want that too?
Definitely. Like, I think the normal social stigma is that now it's becoming a lot more acceptable. Coming from an Asian background myself, I feel that there is a sort of still a parental stigma where you're being pressured into an Asian to Asian relationship.
Like, why has that stereotype established itself in societies around the world?
I don't know. I think maybe it has something to do with us not being represented as, I guess, attractive in popular culture. I think that is changing though. Crazy Rich Asians.
Yep, saw it. I definitely saw it.
Yep. So I think the trend is definitely starting to change, and you're seeing more. I'm definitely seeing more Asian males with Caucasian females, especially in the younger generation, I find.
Do you reckon stereotyping has a role to play in this particular phenomenon?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the typical stereotypes is, for example, Asian men, they're less masculine. Asian men, they're very nerdy. They're not. They don't go to the gym. That kind of thing. I think that is a true stereotype for certain people, but like all stereotypes, they're just stereotypes, right? You can't have a blanket rule for everyone.
For sure.
So you think that for a guy, their parents would be more concerned of what their girlfriend's heritage is versus for an Asian girl?
I think in terms of the parental pressure on females. It's not as much. If in any case it's actually the opposite. I think that a lot of Asian parents come up with the mentality that they try to groom their children into thinking that if they marry a rich white person, a male, that's actually the more successful way to go. It's funny that we say that, but it's really true, I think.
How, as a guy with Asian descent yourself, does this make you feel that this is still the common norm in 2020?
I used to not consider dating, I guess, a female that wasn't Asian, mainly because I just didn't see it happening around me. And then I felt as I became more confident myself, it's really about confidence. If you are confident, then you can date anyone.
I feel less and less pressure to get into an Asian female relationship. In fact, I feel a lot more free, and the whole sense of not caring about what other people think is very real. At the end of the day, no matter who's really pressuring you, it's still going to be your marriage and your relationship, and it's really important that you connect with someone that you actually genuinely feel love for, and not just based on racial acceptance.
And do you see this trend changing in the next couple of years?
Trend changing in the next couple of years. I think as Asian culture gets more globalized and then it goes more into the mainstream, I definitely think so. I mean, movies such as Crazy Rich Asians, which I'm sure everyone has watched, it definitely plays a role.
Yeah, that was actually mentioned before.
Oh, is it? Yeah, no, yes.
One of the most amazing people I met was I was in Cuba, and I met this like old Chinese guy. He owned a restaurant, and he had a Cuban wife.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, I want to be like you.
Breaking stereotypes.
Yeah. I was amazed. I was like, wow, I can do this too.
That is so awesome. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate you giving up some time.
Okay, guys, you won't believe it. I just ran into this Australian guy who used to live in Thailand, and he speaks really good Thai. I'm gonna ask his opinion on this topic.
Sawadee Cup.
So you used to live in Thailand for quite a while. What was it like there?
ก็ที่ผมสังเกตกับแฟนกันชาวต่างชาติกับคนไทยก็ส่วนใหญ่ผู้หญิงเป็นคนไทยแล้วก็ผู้ชายเป็นฝรั่งนะครับแต่ว่าตอนนี้น่าจะเปลี่ยนไปนิดนึงนะครับแต่ว่าสำหรับผมนะประสบการณ์ที่ไทยก็ผมก็อยู่ที่ประเทศไทย9 เดือนแต่หาแฟนไม่เคยเจอเลย
So now do you have a girlfriend?
ก็ผมเหรอก็ตอนนี้ไม่มีแฟนนะครับแล้วก็จีบไม่เป็นแต่ว่ามีใครสนใจไม่ว่าจะมาจากไหนอย่าลืม comment below ด้วยนะครับ and if this act hasn't convinced you enough to subscribe remember to subscribe to Thai Talk with Paddy. Thank you very much Felisa. We'll see you guys soon.